Romans. And this land was once called Britannia.
All hail Britannia! Sorry. All hail Hallelujah! Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Vinland Saga, episode 10. We are here yet again to watch Vikings kill some people and raid some villages and use women and I mean, who doesn't like some some raiding, right? I mean, am I right, boys? In any case, previously on episode 9, we were introduced to I think his name was Thorkell, the younger brother of Sigvaldi, apparently. I believe. A couple of things I wrote down was that he knew Thor's, or knew of him, and that he's a battle maniac or fanatic, you know, loves fighting. He and Thorfinn had a little one-on-one, and Thorfinn got his ass kicked. He managed to do some damage, but ultimately it was definitely one-sided. Thorfinn got his ass kicked. He managed to escape. Well, he was allowed to escape, let's be honest. And I figure that this Thorkell guy will potentially eventually become an ally for Thorfinn. We still don't really know who the fuck this Prince Knut is, but I figure we might soon find out. After Thorfinn got his ass kicked, he ended up rejoining Askeladd, and they are now, I believe, marching onto Wessex. And that's about where we left off. I actually expected Thorfinn to remain, trying to kill Thorkell, and try to fight him again, basically, to kill him and then get another chance at Askeladd. But I think they are moving on for now. So most likely we'll come back to that guy later on, and then we'll see if he becomes Thorfinn's ally or enemy. But until then, let's just get into episode 10 of Vinland Saga. Oh, we're still at the bridge. Ragnarok.
We're going to keep playing this staring contest. We aren't earning anything.
The prince is probably just scared.
Looks like going to Wessex would have been the better call.
Yeah, you're right. What bullshit. We got the short end.
He's throwing rocks. Okay, sure, bro. This dude's a fucking human cannon.
Aren't you going to do something? Where are your balls? Don't have any? Then help yourself to these!
Ragnar, sir! Letting him insult us like this is a disgrace to the army. We need to attack.
We're ready to fight.
Basically, Thorfinn and Askeladd went forward to Wessex, I believe. I'm surprised we're staying here with, because I believe Prince Knut or whatever was ordered to remain and keep the siege up. I wonder if this whole episode is going to be with that prince. That would be interesting. Because I did talk about this exact thing essentially last episode, where we 90% of the time follow Thorfinn, and because Thorfinn only cares about his revenge, we don't really, like, the war is not really part of the main storyline. The main storyline has been mainly Thorfinn getting his revenge, right? So now if we're having an entire episode without Thorfinn, that would be maybe a decent way to, like, have the audience engage with the war storyline. But again, the problem is the lack of main characters. So right now, mainly, I would say the only main characters in the show are Askeladd, Thorfinn, and maybe Sigvaldi and Floki. Those are the 4 like main characters that have been reoccurring and have clearly been like important characters. Maybe Ylva as well. Yeah, I would say Ylva as well. So now, if we are staying behind and not going with Thorfinn and Askeladd to Wessex for now, they need to introduce a main character here. Because it's not going to be Floki, it's not going to be Askeladd, it's not going to be Thorfinn. It's got to be the prince guy, right? So, let's see him. Let's see him.
His Highness put us in charge of the siege himself. Now's our chance to show our valor.
Not yet. When the time comes, the prince will give the order. And until then, we must wait.
But Ragnar!
And then Christ the Lord spake unto them, put thine sword back into its place, or all those who take up the sword shall
Once
perish
again,
by the sword.
this person has not said a single word yet. Long blonde hair as well.
Excuse me, but could you leave us to speak in private?
Also, I'm surprised they're doing Jesus stuff, you know?
Who cares about his orders? That prince is a coward. We can't stay quiet forever.
Right, let's go! Yeah! Tell him! Let's do it!
There's no need to worry, Your Highness. Winter approaches, and the order to withdraw will as well. We need only endure until then.
Who is this person?
What the hell? They're no fun at all!
You're sure working hard, Captain. So, are you mocking them again?
Shut up, Ausgare. How can we have a battle if these filthy cowards won't attack me?
Shouting at them may not be the best plan. I would assume they're being careful.
Why don't you attack them?
After all, they are under the command of Prince Canute of Denmark. Apparently, he's the second one. King Sweyn's first son is...
Second son of second son of second prince of Denmark. God damn it! I thought we were done with this. Pissed off with the kid already. I don't want to see this kid anymore. I want to see his older version.
My mother is here. And my sister.
I'm surprised he even remembers them at this point. Again,
It's almost supper time. I have to let
assuming he
Father
was like
know.
8 to 10 years old, he probably only has like 4 years of memories that he remembers. And the rest is just, he just kills people. You know? He probably has more memories of him killing people and fighting than he does living in peace with his family. I think they're doing this way too early, by the way. These flashbacks and these, I think last episode, was it last episode? Maybe the one before that, actually. Where Thorfinn had that dream of his father, right? I think they're doing this a little too early, legitimately. You need to actually have him go through a lot more, I feel like, before you can do the... he starts having dreams of his family, and his father comes to him in a dream and gives him advice, and like, you know, you need to kind of have the show go a little deeper before you start doing that.
That the worst part of this place is
I feel like they're doing
we
it too
don't
early.
own any slaves. But then we've never owned any slaves, have we?
That sounds like her. It's your duty to protect your mother and your sister. Understand?
Uh-huh.
The two of them are both waiting for you to come home. They're so special, son. You're very fortunate to have them.
You know what I think, actually?
Understand?
I think what would work better would be, again, if they didn't do this so early, I think we should see him go through a lot more battles, and then later on in the show, maybe, I don't know, maybe towards the end of the first season or whatever, then maybe he starts, like, it would almost feel like he has forgotten his family, but then maybe something reminds him. How do I explain this? Kind of like having that one memory, that one hope in your heart that you can return to a peaceful life. Him having that hope deep inside that he might have family members waiting for him somewhere back home, and then maybe you have a scene where he thinks to himself that he had basically forgotten about his family. You know, something very like
Yeah.
like a scene
Must stop.
showing that he's basically forgotten about his family.
Do you believe what you're doing now would make me happy?
It's too early for this. Straight up. I think they're showing stuff like this way too early. you need to show Thorfinn going off the deep end first, and then you bring him back.
The village! What should we do, Mother? They're attacking! Mother, run! Elva, get out!
That place in my dream. Where was it? Sunny and warm, with rolling plains of grass, as far as I could see.
And there's just a guy lying dead with an axe in his back. I mean, as you do.
All I'm saying is, I can't figure out what the hell the boss is thinking. Now it's almost winter. Most of the army headed north a long time ago. But we're still out here pillaging miserable villages like this one.
Well, he probably just wants to grab a little extra loot before we head home.
It's fine by me, but we should be attacking the bigger city. I mean, Bristol's nearby, right?
You stupid ass. You need more than 100 men to sack a city like that.
Huh? What was that? Did you just call me stupid?
We've been wreaking havoc in England for the last 10 years now. And this year was one of the most intense. From the rumors I've heard, the King of England's fled the country. The King of Denmark has already...
Hang on. We've been fucking around in England for 10 years now. 10 years. Because I'm pretty sure they weren't in England before, so Thorfinn must have been like 6 years old when Thor's died. So he's been with them for like 10 years. Jesus. It was worse than I thought.
already won this fight, so the war is over.
You think? Seems too early to tell. London stands, and they still have Thorkell with them. You saw how ridiculously strong that giant is.
Yeah, that's true. He's powerful, sure. But when all's said and done, he's Norse, exactly like we are. Take this! What is it this time? Someone tell me what's happening.
Oke called Thor stupid to his face. Then Thor got angry. Oke didn't apologize and insulted him further.
What'd he call him?
A cattle thief.
Really? It came to that, huh?
I'm surprised there wasn't someone. I'm surprised someone didn't call him a donkey fucker. You know, usually, that's usually what it comes down to, right? Fucking an animal. So that's always what it comes down to.
Well, that's that then. Just make sure to let Askeladd know if either one of them ends up dying.
This country is fertile. Just like the land in my dreams. It's all so different from Iceland. And this late in the year, I bet the snow is already starting to pile up.
I'm actually surprised that he hasn't really thought about the rest of his family. You know, his mother, his sister, right? Because you have to think about it from a overarching perspective. For us, the audience, yes, it has been only like, I don't know, like 6 episodes, right? So it's hard to think about it in an overarching perspective. But in story-wise, like the amount of time that's taken place in the story is like 10 years. At some point, you would think that Thorfinn's want for revenge is not fresh anymore, right? Maybe he keeps it fresh, sure, but you would think he would have started thinking about the rest of his family and wanting to see them, maybe thinking of giving up the quest for revenge, right? Having those doubts, you know, wanting to see the rest of his family and stuff like that. because this is kind of one of the big problems with doing a time skip, is that a lot of people, when writing a story with a time skip, they don't take into account that people's mind, like, people change over those years. Your characters change over those years. Your characters don't just have the same wants and motivations anymore over many, many years. It's been 10 years, bro. Like, you would think that Thorfinn's motivation or, like, fire for revenge would have dwindled a little, or at least have him start thinking about the rest of his family a little bit more. But it's almost like he never thinks about them at all, ever. You know, which is just something I'm surprised about. Because, I mean, 10 years is a long time.
It's early, Thorfinn, and you're up. It isn't even daybreak yet. Having trouble sleeping because the men were too loud? Well, you should give them a break. They're just frustrated after all the marching they've been doing lately. So they have to blow off some steam every now and then.
Stop talking like we're friends. You all seem to be getting the wrong idea lately. I'm not a part of your little troop. You've probably convinced yourself that you have me on a leash. You're free to keep thinking that for now. Though you'll end up changing your mind on the day that I slit your throat.
I'm terrified. Who'd have ever imagined you'd live long enough to threaten me like that? Still, don't forget, time is on your side. You'll grow stronger while I get older. The day might come when I actually lose to you.
That's actually another thing that I thought about mentioning, because again, he was already kind of like an older guy 10 years ago when he fought Thor's, right? Now it's 10 years later, he should be like getting older. So I'm actually glad they're mentioning this.
The way of things. Even the strongest die in the end. Look around you, Thorfinn. These stones weren't set by the ones who live in England now. The Saxons could never make that happen. They were built by those who lived here before them. I hear they were a mighty people. But the Saxons destroyed them nearly 500 years ago. They were the Romans. And this land was once called Britannia.
All hail Britannia! Sorry.
Civilization was advanced, far more than we are now.
All hail Hallelujah!
What are you getting at?
You need to learn patience. Is that human civilization moves ahead, growing older with every season. The Romans were defeated by the Saxons, and right now they're on the verge of being destroyed by the Danes. Which means the glory of the mighty Roman Empire will fade into the past. I've heard, according to the Christians at least, that in 20 years or so, the day of the final judgment will be upon us.
That's what they all say. They say that like every 50 years.
On that day, God will annihilate all of humanity, and the world as we know it will be completely destroyed.
Ragnarok.
Look out there, Thorfinn. Almost ironic, isn't it? A new dawn is breaking in the age of twilight. A rider. He's alone. Something's off. We should be the only Norsemen left in this area. Hey!
What's going on?
Halt! We're a detachment under King Sweyn, fellow Danes. Where is it that you hail from, soldier?
Ah! Are you part of the main troop?
Thorkell, you say?
Right. He'll be here before long, with about 500 men. He only brought his immediate subordinates.
Ah. So, yeah. Like I said, you know, when he was yelling, "Oh, why won't you attack me?" I was like, well, why don't you attack them? And apparently he is doing exactly that. Kind of a stupid move, by the way, but, you know, he wants to fight, so it is what it is.
Main army steps. They'll be arriving in Marlborough soon.
It is what it is.
500 men? Thorkell can't be that stupid. But the siege of London? I thought that Prince Canute had 4,000 men.
Yes, and Thorkell's forces annihilated them in no time. I'm one of the only members of the unit who survived.
Oh. Well, that's not good. What, you didn't see them coming? Bro, who is on lookout? You didn't see multiple ships coming from your enemy's side? Like, no wonder they got wiped out, bro. Like, these are some pathetic soldiers. Pay cuts for all of you, you fucking idiots.
Like hornets, they swarmed out of their fortress with Thorkell the Tall in the lead.
There he goes.
The strongest bears, and they caught us off guard. No one could do anything to stop them. Now they're heading straight for the main troop.
My
Pray
prince!
that their souls may be
Highness!
saved.
Thorkell is
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is like incredibly powerful, but doesn't like to fight. It's one of those.
upon us. We must leave now. I found you, Prince.
What happened to Prince Canute?
He's been taken hostage. Thorkell's company has him now. Our remaining forces are trying to regroup and do all we can to take him back. But we've barely gathered 400 men, and their morale is crushed. I'm on my way to try and ask the others for assistance. I hope that you join us. We could use another 100 men.
All right, boss. It's your decision. What should we do?
I know this. It isn't our time to fade into the twilight. Can't you hear it, Bjorn? Ragnarok's coming. I can hear its approach.
Can you though? And there goes the messenger.
Bury him. And his horse as well. All right, you bastards! Listen closely! We head out now to attempt the rescue of His Highness Prince Canute from Thorkell and his 500 men, without the help of another unit. This is the wager we bet our lives on. His Highness is second in line for the throne of Denmark, and whichever army we hand him to will reward us handsomely. Can you even begin to imagine? Whether it's Denmark or England, the two great powers will pay us for our valor. We can't let this opportunity go to someone else.
It's definitely a gamble.
We're all worked up, so I hope you have a plan. We're going against Thorkell. What are we going to do?
We'll see.
Wait, that's it? We'll see?
We live in the age of twilight, Bjorn. If you ask me, I say we might as well go out with a bang.
Interesting. I was wondering how they were kind of going to go back to Thorkell, whatever. Because, like, there's no shot they would just kind of move on without him, right? Like, or move on for a long time, and then, I mean, maybe. I still expected them to get back to Thorkell soon enough, but not this soon. It's very interesting, though. These guys, these 4,000 strong in this in this siege, dude, pathetic, pathetic, absolutely fucking pathetic, bro. I mean, I can kind of see it, but like, you should have seen it coming. They apparently didn't even see them until they were literally landing on their shores 10 meters away, you know? Like, what? What? I still, like, we don't get to see this person's face straight up for some reason. They keep, like, you know, praying to Jesus, but I'm still expecting, I'm still thinking that it's going to be one of those things where we don't see them fight ever and they get taken hostage or prisoner. That's because they just didn't fight. They chose to become a prisoner. But in reality, once they do start fighting, then they're like unstoppable. Then they're like insanely skilled and insanely powerful. I mean, of course I could be wrong, but like, that's the vibe I'm getting. That's my experience with stories and anime telling me that this character is actually a hidden badass, just decides not to fight until he decides to fight, right? So Askeladd decided to kill the messenger to prevent anyone else, to prevent the message from going to the main force. So if they go and save the prince, then they will get most of the reward, and they will get most of the honor and the most of the praise. I also figure that most likely Askeladd, as he was talking, you know, that he's getting older and stuff like that, he's probably, as he said, thinking of going out with a bang, right? Ultimately, as much as, you know, Askeladd is growing on me, in the end, I still think that the way he should go is fighting against Thorfinn. Because, like, that is the core of the story right now. That is, or at least that is the core of our main character story. Essentially, what I'm hoping is not going to happen is that Thorfinn starts, I don't know, Stockholm syndroming himself into, like, Askeladd's, you know, becoming friendly with him and starting to hesitate when it comes to killing him for his father's honor, I guess. Because in the end, I definitely still think that Askeladd should go out fighting Thorfinn. I think that would be the most, like, poetic and, like, best way for him to go, I think. Just in my opinion, anyway. I still think, as I was mentioning earlier, that Thorfinn definitely should be thinking more of his family. I mean, as I said, with the time skips and everything, it's been 10 years. There's no shot he's still not thinking of going back to his family, right? Like, after such a long time, the fire in your heart for revenge will dim. It will. No matter how much you try to keep it fresh, you know, your want for revenge will fade. It just won't be as fresh as it once was. And as your want for revenge is going away, your want to see your family increases. Or at least that's what I would imagine would happen. So I think what they should have done a little bit more is him being so focused on killing Askeladd for his revenge, for, you know, to honor his father, and he just does not think about his family at all, you know, his mother and sister, and then so on and so forth. We go through multiple fights and battles and people he kills, Thorfinn, I mean. At some point, something maybe, like, something or someone reminds him of his family, and then he starts second-guessing his want for revenge even more. Maybe he already has a little bit of, you know, hesitation, but something maybe reminds him of his family, or, you know, something along those lines, and then he starts thinking, oh yeah, I had a sister and mother. I wonder how they're doing. I can't believe I forgot about them. And then maybe slowly his priority starts to change from getting revenge to seeing his family. They might even do a thing, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a storyline, or turned the storyline to a choice of, do you want to get this revenge, or do you want to see your family and be with your family? I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But eventually they're gonna end up in a situation where we're gonna have some sort of emotional reunion with the characters, with the family, basically. But I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. And there are 2 seasons of this, so yeah. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed episode 10 of Vinland Saga. I definitely did. I think, honestly, surprisingly, this episode surprisingly made me like Askeladd even more. Askeladd has been kind of this character that kind of, at least for me, has been, like, I can see why people like him, and I do kind of like him, but something about his character has been missing. I don't know how to explain it, but like something about his character just felt empty to me. Like, yeah, he's this leader of this group of Vikings, I guess, or raiders, pirates, whatever you want to call them, mercenaries. I think for me, what has been missing from his character is motivation. Like, what does he do all this for? Exactly. What does he want? Because we saw that guy, that leader of that village that they're from, right? He was like all about money, right? Then you have other characters like the kid in that same village who was talking about honor, right? But for Askeladd, it's just like he doesn't care about the money. To him, it's not really about the honor either. So why does he do all this, right? What is he wanting out of life? And in this episode, I think we got kind of a glimpse into that with that scene with Thorfinn, where they were, during the night, they were like talking. Makes me think that maybe what he wants is to be remembered. He was talking about, things fading into the past, and then when he learned that the prince got taken hostage, now he's like, this is our moment. He said something along the lines of like, we're not ready to be forgotten yet, or so I don't remember his exact words, but basically that's the kind of vibe I got from him, that he wants to be remembered. He wants to, cement his legacy, I guess. Anyway, enough yapping for now. I will see you next time in episode 11 of Vinland Saga, and I hope you join me for that one.